Tamil nation, a land of ancient culture and extraordinary people. Now finds itself at the mercy of a broken system. Democracy lies in shambles. Leaders manipulate the truth, and the people's voice is drowned out by corruption and fear.
Freedom of speech, silenced, justice, compromised, safety, a distant memory. This is the story of a state that stood on the brink of despair, and the rise of a leader who became the beacon of hope.
2026
It all began with the acquisition of agricultural land in Prandar, a small town in the Kanchipuram district of Tamil Nadu. Then happened with the arrest of Truth, a renowned journalist and media personality. Known for his fearless reporting, Truth dared to expose the government's failures by addressing corrupt officials and questioning those in power. In a shocking display of power, Truth was accused of spreading misinformation and inciting public unrest. The truth? He was jailed for doing what every citizen deserves, to speak freely. There were numerous arrests of media persons who were exposing truth about government and officials, failures in performing their duty, and misusing their powers. As Truth's arrest sparked outrage, the political stage turned into a battlefield. The ruling party and the opposition accused each other of heinous crimes, including sexual harassment cases and corruption scandals during their respective tenures. Instead of addressing the people's concerns, leaders treated them as pawns, believing they would blindly follow whatever the media and newspapers projected. The blame game continued, leaving the people caught in a web of lies and betrayal.
In the midst of the turmoil, one opposition leader, known for his charisma but lacking integrity, took to the stage. Every time he addressed the press, he fabricated stories, twisting facts to suit his agenda. His lies fueled confusion, dividing the people further and distracting them from the real issues. Yet, his supporters blindly cheered, unaware of the deception.
Another prominent opposition leader, instead of focusing on the pressing issues of the present, constantly spoke about the personal lives of long-gone leaders. He criticized their legacy, using fake documents and information as a tool to dodge accountability for his own party's failures. While history has its lessons, the people needed solutions for today's challenges. But this leader's obsession with the past offered none.
Then there was the highly educated leader whose actions baffled even his own supporters. Despite his academic credentials, he acted foolishly, making absurd remarks and decisions that left the public in disbelief. The actions of these leaders not only instills disbelief about them in people, it also shows that their eagerness is only to come into power, and they just don't care about people's problems, like most of the other leaders. Meanwhile, the ruling party deflected attention from its failures by blaming the opposition for past mistakes. They accused the previous government of sexual harassment cases, corruption, and societal decline, all while ignoring their own glaring shortcomings. In all of this, the politicians treated the people as mere spectators, assuming they would blindly believe whatever was broadcasted on government-controlled media and printed in biased newspapers. They underestimated the people's intelligence, feeding them lies and expecting blind loyalty. But the people were beginning to see through the charade. Instead of addressing the real issues, corruption, safety, and justice, the leaders engaged in theatrics. Their arrogance revealed one truth. They believed the people were too distracted, too divided, and too apathetic to demand accountability. But amidst the chaos, a harsh truth emerged. The people too bore responsibility for their plight. Years of apathy and ignorance had allowed corruption to thrive. The problems faced by others were ignored until they became everyone's problems. The people failed to act, failed to question, and failed to hold their leaders accountable. This complacency turned them into victims of a broken system. But there was a shift. The arrest of truth became a rallying cry for change. Protests erupted across the state, with citizens demanding justice, accountability, and a voice. Amidst the turmoil, the people realized they needed a leader, someone who would not just promise change, but fight for it. Someone who understood their struggles and shared their vision for a better Tamil Nadu. And then Vijay emerged. Not a career politician, but a man of the people. With his new political party, Tamil Viduthalai Kazhagam, TVK, Vijay became the voice of the oppressed, the silenced, and the forgotten. Unlike the leaders before him, Vijay didn't rely on empty words. He brought action. From addressing women's safety to challenging police brutality, Vijay made it clear Tamil Nadu's future would no longer be dictated by corruption. But the fight wasn't easy. The government tried to crush Vijay's movement, branding him a traitor. Protests were met with violence. His followers were arrested, and the media was used to discredit him. Yet the people stood by Vijay. They saw through the lies, united by a shared dream of justice and equality. Vijay's rise forced a transformation in Tamil Nadu's political landscape. No longer could leaders treat the people as fools. They were held accountable for their actions, and the voice of the common man grew louder than ever. More than Vijay's leadership, it was the people's awakening that marked Tamil Nadu's redemption. They realized that a better society starts with their own involvement, questioning, acting, and standing together against injustice. Against all odds, Vijay and the people of Tamil Nadu triumphed. TVK became a symbol of hope, and Vijay, a leader who proved that change is possible when the people and their leader fight as one. This is more than a story of one man's fight. It is the story of a people who rose from apathy, reclaimed their voice, and built a future they could be proud of. Tamil Nadu's story isn't just about its past, it's about its bright and resilient future.
மதச்சார்பற்ற சமூக நீதி கொள்கைகள் அதாவது செக்யூலர் சோஷியல் ஜஸ்டிஸ் ஐடியாலஜிஸோட நம்ம தமிழக வெற்றி கழகத்தின் வழியா உங்களுக்காக உழைக்கணும்னு நான் வரேன்